Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananamalaya Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Sri Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Vavato Sahana Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Klishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Sarvalokahite Ratam Vedabja Bhaskaram Vande Shamadhi Nilayam Munim Sahasramurte Purushottamasya Sahasra Netranana Pada Baho Sahasranamam Stavanam Prashastam Niruchyate Janma Jaradi Shantyai. Namaste once again, everyone. We will start now.
Namaste.
Ojas tejo dutidaraha prakashatma pratapanaha riddhaspashtaksharo mandras chandram shur bhaskaradyutihi. This is the sloka, the meanings of which we are seeing. And in the last class, I think I stopped at with the meaning of riddha, the one who is prosperous. Or all the prosperity belongs to whom? So that is riddha. So now we will see the next dhamma. Spashtaksharaha. He is the one syllabled Om. Spashtakshara. Spashtam Udattam Omkara Lakshanam Aksharam Asya iti Spashtakshara, says Adi Shankara. So as we have seen sometime earlier also, the word Om is made of three letters. A, U, Ma, or actually. They together, they form a single syllable Om. And it is said with a clear pitch so that no one can commit mistake. And this is what is termed as Spashtakshara, clear syllable. And that is the name of the Lord. Therefore, since Lord is known by this Spashtaksharam, the clear syllable Om, Bhagavan is Spashtakshara. That is the meaning of Spashtakshara. The next nama is Mantraha. Mantraha we know normally, but here the meaning is the one in the form of and known through mantras. Both meanings we have to take that. Rig Yajus Sama Lakshanaha Mantraha. That is one meaning of mantra. Mantra Bodhatvadva Mantraha. Second meaning. So both the meanings Adi Shankara takes. So Bhagavan is in the form of the mantras like Rig, Yajus, Sama. All these three Vedas. All these Veda mantras are all nothing but Bhagavan only, forms of Bhagavan only. And he is also mantra bodhya, the one who is understood through the mantras of the Vedas. Mantra bodhyatvat, he says. This one is understood, one is known through the mantras of Vedas. Especially when we come to the Upanishads, we know the Swarupa of Ishwara as Sachidananda only through the Upanishads. There is no other source for us to know it. So that is the only pramana. So that is why he is known as mantra, mantraha. Okay. Then Chandramshuhu. Chandramshu, Amshu means rays. The one in the form of the rays of the moon. Samsara tapa, dikmangshu tapa, tapita chetasam, Chandramshuriva, akladakatvat Chandramshuhu. Very long sentence. Yes. Bhagavan is like Chandramshu, the rays of the moon, which is cooling to those whose minds are scorched by tapa, the heat of the samsara. We normally have this, the moon's rays are really very cooling rather. That's why we enjoy moonlit nights. We need to understand that what is this samsara? The jivas are roasted by the tapatraya of samsara. Tapa means the heat. Okay. And this tapatraya, Adi Adhyatmika tapa, Adi Bhaudika tapa, and Adi Daivika tapa. These three tapas, they scorch the jivas like the sun scorches. The Adhyatmika tapas are the pains and problems centered on oneself, one's body, mind, sense complex. The Adi Bhautika tapa are the pains and problems caused by people around, including animals, plants, bacteria, virus, corona, everything. They are all Adi Bhautika tapa. And Adi Daivika tapa are the pains and problems caused by devatas. Devatas like, Varuna Devata creates floods by raining profusely, earthquakes, hurricanes, so on. All these are all Adi Daivika tapas. So all our problems in our life can be fitted into one of these three categories. Every jiva is afflicted by one or more tapas at a given period of time. So the one who is afflicted by these tapas, this heat of these tapas, needs some cooling rays like those of the moon. And the Lord is that cooling rays. He is Chandramshu. So the understanding of the names of the Lord eliminates completely the tapatraya, the afflictions that I am afflicted, I am persecuted by the world. These notions are gone. And what is there is only Ananda, and that is what Ishwara Swarupa alone. So like the cool rays of the sun, the names of the Lord are able to bring about a freedom from the threefold tapas of the individual. That is why he is here compared to the rays of the sun, and the nama is Chandramshu. Then Bhaskara Dhyutihi. Immediately the Vishnu Sahasranama from moon sun jumps to sun. Bhaskara Dhyutihi, the one who is brilliant like the sun. Bhaskara Dyuti Sadharmyat Bhaskara Dyutihi, says Adi Shankara. The light of the sun lights up this whole world, but it itself does not require any other light to light it up, isn't it? Any other light, talking, transactional. Of course, even the sun's light is borrowed light from the light of the consciousness. That is going into Vedanta completely. But we are here even to understand it at the ephemeral level of the experiential world. Like we light a lamp in our house, nobody lights the sun. It is always there. The light, nobody has lit the sun, for it to light up the whole world. Similarly, Bhagavan also does not require any other light to light him up. In the sun, there is no dark spot. It is just one ball of light. And similarly, the Lord also is all knowledge, self-shining, with no spot of ignorance. That's why Adi Shankara says, Bhaskara Dyuti Sadharmyat, being brilliant like the sun, he is called Bhaskara Dyutihi. This is the Nama. That finishes the previous sloka. Now we will go to the next sloka. Amritam Shuddhavo Bhanuhu Shashabhindu Sureshwaraha Aushadam Jagadhasetu Satya Dharma Parakramaha. So this sloka has got again 7 namas. Amritam Shuddhavaha Bhanuhu Shashabinduhu Sureshwaraha Aushadam Jagadhasetuhu. That has to be taken together. Then Satya Dharma Parakramaha. These are the 7 namas. Okay. So the first one is Amritam Shuddhavaha, the source of the moon. Madhyamane payonidhau amritam shoho chandrasya udbhavaha yasmat sa amritam shuddhavaha. Amritamshu is the name of the moon. It's another name of the moon, Amritamshu. According to the Puranas, during the churning of this milky ocean, through this Asuras and Devatas, the moon came out with its amshus, its rays, drenched in Amrita, nectar. Therefore, Lord Vishnu, being the initiator of the churning and thereby the source of the moon, is called Amritam Shuddhavaha. So the moon is born of Ishwara. Not only is the moon born of Ishwara, but the moon is also Ishwara. Everything is Ishwara. Scientifically speaking, the moon was born of the earth, and the earth was born of the sun, and the sun was born of some other sun in the galaxy of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is born of some other galaxy. Like that, it goes on. But since everything, if we go on, like this in the sequence, eventually we will land that everything is born of Ishwara alone. So the moon is also born of Ishwara alone. Even if there is a krama or an order in this, still everything is born of Ishwara, and hence being the source of the moon, he is Amritam Shuddhavaha. And Puja Swamiji says, you don't need the krama or the order or the sequence at all to say that the moon is Parameshwara. Because if you say the moon is, then Ishwara is in it. It's a Satvastu. The Sat is there, existence is there. The moment we say moon is, that itself means that it is Ishwara. The moon exists and it is an object of knowledge. That is moon asti, bhati. That is what? Asti bhati is nothing but Sat and Chit with name and form. And the Sat and Chit belong to Ishwara. So the krama of all these, born out of the earth and earth born out of sun, all this krama is for the sake of name and form only, which is all mithya. And that mithya, the name and form, is sustained by the satya. The eastness is satya. So Ishwara, by lending Sat and Chit to the moon, is the source of the moon. That way also we can understand Amritam Shuddhavaha. Very beautiful explanation which the Swamiji gives. Bhanuhu, one who shines. Bhati iti Bhanuhu. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam iti shrutehe. So, the Lord is Bhati, he shines, and hence he is called Bhanu. And as we have seen again and again, he is the one who shines of his own accord. And everything else shines with the light borrowed from the light of the Lord. And here the comparison is the Bhanu, the sun lights up all, but it is lighted up by the eyes. Without the eyes, the sun cannot be seen. The eyes are lighted up by the mind and the mind by the Atma. Atma means I am talking about the, not Jivatma, but the consciousness. And that consciousness, that Atma is not lighted up by anything. It is Swayam Bhati, self-shining, and also self-revealing. So the Lord as Atma, as Paramatma is Bhanu. So whenever all these namas are coming, they are all representing some name and form of the Lord. We have to go behind the names and forms and see what is the meaning of that nama from the point of view of the Swarupa of Bhagavan. And that is exactly what Adi Shankara has tried to do. That is what Puja Swamiji has done in his commentary. So we are benefited by all that works. So the next nama is Shashabinduhu. I think these slokas are all dedicated to moon and sun. Shashabinduhu, the one who nourishes like the moon. Shasha iva binduhu lanchanam asya iti shashabinduhu chandraha tadvat prajaha pushnati iti shashabinduhu. Pushnami chaushadihi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. 15th chapter of Gita. That Bhagavan Adi Shankara is quoting. Iti Bhagavat Vachanat. So the moon has some dark spots we have seen, which are considered to be shaped like a rabbit, if you have observed it. And that is why the moon is called Shashabindu, because it has a bindu. Bindu means mark, like a shasha. Shasha means a rabbit. So we have already seen the Lord is not the one, is not only the one from which the moon is born, but he is also the moon. And the moon is said to nourish us by giving the sap in the plants. That is why the moonlight is very, very important for the entire greenery or the entire, what we call the plant life to grow. All the rasas, the nutrients in the plants, they are all coming from the moon's lights only. They reflect on the earth, and the earth actually gets all those nutrients, and then they pass it on to the plants. And when we eat, the plant produce those nutrients go into us, and those nutrients are required for the functioning, good functioning, or I should say effective and efficient functioning of all parts of our bodies. Different nutrients are required for different functions. This is how the whole thing takes place. So this moon is one of the most important ingredients of the nutrients which we go into us. And therefore, and who is the moon? Bhagavan is the moon. So therefore, he is Shashabindu. And here he says that, and this is the pramanam for this is Bhagavad-Gita only, where Bhagavan says, Pushna Michasha Shaudis Sarvaha Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha. Rasam means sap, the essence of the plants. So he says, Somo Bhutva, as the rays of the moon, Pushnami, I nourish all plants, cha aushadihi rasatmakaha, I nourish all the plants in the form of the sap, in the form of their essential nutrients. So that is why he is called Shashabindu. Then next is Sureshwara. Sureshwara, the Lord of all Suras. Suranam, Devanam, Shobhana Dhatrunam cha Ishwara Sureshwara. Suras means Devatas. So Bhagavan is Sureshwara, the Lord of all Suras. That is all the Devas. We have already seen this Nama Suresha in the 85th Nama. It has also got Suresha is Sureshana, Suranam, Ishwara, Suresha, we saw there. Here also the same meaning is taken, but slightly different way. Here, Adi Shankara says, Shobhana Dhatrunam, Shobhanam Ranti Prayachanti iti Suraha. Who are Suras? Shobhanam Ranti, those who give gracefully. They are called Suras. And Bhagavan is their Ishwara, and therefore he is Sureshwara. Because in any act of giving, both the giver and the receiver are blessed. The one who gives is grateful because he has got an opportunity to give. In fact, any dhanam that we give, anything, any help that we render to others, it should be rendered with this kind of an attitude only. The attitude should be, Bhagavan has made me, given me this opportunity to do this job, to help this person, to give this dhanam. He has kept me in such a position that I am able to do this, so I feel blessed. That should be the attitude while giving dhanam. Even if it is going to be given some few coins to a beggar, it should be given with, and this kind of an attitude brings a lot of humility in us. That is why dhanam is emphasized in the Shastras as one of the most important Purta karmas. Puja Swamiji says, it is very difficult to give part with what we think is ours. It's not very easy to take out the money from the pocket and give it to somebody else, not to receive it back at all, knowing fully well that it is not going to be returned. It's very difficult, more for most of the people. So Pujya Swamiji says, initially force yourself to give dana. Clench your teeth and give dana. I have to give, like that you give initially. And as you continue to give, as you understand what this entire the prapancha is, what is Ishwara and all that, you will reach a stage where you will feel blessed by giving. That is why all Mahatmas, they always give. They never ever feel that, oh, I am a giver, I have given him, I have helped so and so and so. They never have this feeling. There is a joy they enjoy in giving. So the giver is also happy and feels blessed. The receiver is also very happy and grateful because he needs help and he gets it done. He gets that help and he also feels blessed. So in the act of giving, gracefully, both the giver and the receiver are grateful, and both of them, they feel blessed. And that is why the Shastra says, with reference to giving, Shraddhaya Deyam, Ashraddhaya Deyam, Sriya Deyam, Kriya Deyam, Bhiya Deyam, Samvida Deyam. These mantras are occurring in the Taitra Upanishad. Shikshavalli, first chapter. What they say, what is given, let it be given with Shraddha on your part. Do not give without Shraddha. Ashraddhaya na deyam. And Shraddha here means the attitude. The attitude that Bhagavan has kept me in the position to give, and hence by other person receiving what I give, I am blessed. Many people, I have seen this. When the priests come and they do some, some function in our house, some rituals and all that, people give them dakshina. Not all of them. Some of them they give it with a grudge. Oh, why should I give it to this fellow? And then people will give all sorts of very secular kind of arguments. These people are already getting so much money. Instead of giving these people, let me go and give it to some poor people and things like that, and all kind of things. Nobody stops you from giving to poor people also. But this person has come, you have invited him, he has performed a certain ritual for you. You believe in that, that is why you invited him for a Shraddha Karma or for even Amavasa Tarpanam. You invited him and he has performed that karma. So it becomes your duty to give, and that giving should be given with lot of humility. So if the giver does not have Shraddha, the Shastra says that receiver should not receive it. That is also, there is an injunction in the Shastra. So when one has Shri, money, Shriya Deyam, Shri means wealth, it should be given. And when given, it should be given with humility. In fact, Acharya say it should be given with a sense of shame that I cannot give more. One should never think that one is doing some charity and all that. Bhiya Deyam, it should be given with fear. And the fear is what? I am giving this, thinking that this is not sufficient. It may not be received by the other person. So that fear also should be there. But many things, many times we see this in marriages and all that. People will go and, very big, what is that, gifts will be given. But some poor person, he cannot afford those gifts. I mean, these scenes are all there in some films also. He will go with some small item and all that. He will always have a fear. If I give it, whether that person will accept it and things like that and all that. So that fear should be there, that what I am giving, it should be something which the other person will receive. It should not be that what I am giving with all Shraddha is rejected by the other person. Rejection means what? I am denied of the blessing which can come to me from Bhagavan for this giving. So therefore, the giving should be with the knowledge about the receiver and also the cause for which it is given. So that is why Samvida Deyam. It should be given for the right cause. So all these are all mandates of the Vedas. So what is to be given should be given properly, gracefully, with benefit to the receiver. And such a giver is called a Shobhana Data. And that is Devatas. If we look at what the Devatas do for us, this is what the Devatas do. When we say Bhagavan is the Karma Phala Data, Bhagavan does not directly give. He actually distributes the Karma Phala through all these 33 crore Devatas which are there in the universe. Each one has got a function, and this entire Karma Phalam, the whatever we get in our life, whatever we are blessed with blessed with in our life, all that is all distributed to the different Devatas. So to earn money, one requires a lot of punya and also effort. To give also, one needs a lot of punya, or else one cannot give. One will only be grabbing. If one has the money and also the heart to give, then the grace of Bhagavan must definitely be there. Ishwara makes that person graceful giver. And that is why he is Sureshwara, because Suras are graceful givers. And he is the Lord of the graceful givers. And therefore he is Suranam Ishwara Sureshwara. This is the meaning of Sureshwara, which is a different meaning from what Adi Shankara took earlier. Here he is focusing on the giving part, that the blessing part by the Devatas. They give whatever they give us, whatever they bless us with, they are all given with this kind of attitude. They don't expect anything back from us. So we should, that's an indication that Lord is Ishwara, and by being Sureshwara, he is giving us a guidance as to how we also can be Sureshwara. Or at least we can be a Sura, if not Ishwara. Okay. We can also be a Sura in giving gracefully. That is the meaning. Then next is Aushadham. Aushadham, simple meaning is medicine. Samsara Roga Beshajatvat Aushadham. Because we are all suffering the Bhava Roga, the Samsara Roga. Isn't it? And who is the medicine? What is the medicine for that? Medicine means Aushadham. Lord only is the medicine. That is why he is called Aushadha. The word Oshadhi refers to plants and herbs. So what is born of Oshadhi is Aushadha. Because today, of course, chemicals are used to make these medicines. They are actually not strictly medicines from the point of view of our Shastra. From the point of view of our Shastra, only Ayurvedic medicines which are made from the medicinal properties which are available in the plants and the herbs, they only are the real medicine. They are the real Aushadha. And that is why Ayurveda cures a disease or an ailment, whereas allopathy does not cure, it only cures the symptoms of or it removes the symptoms of that problem. And in doing so, allopathic medicines, they create a lot of side effects also. So, we cannot say when we talk of Aushadhi or medicine, we must not actually visualize any of these allopathic medicines that we consume. We should have the understanding that here Aushadhi is referring to the herbs and plants and herbs. And taking this one step further from the point of view of not only our physical ailments, but also our emotional ailments, which is the samsara. What is samsara is all about? It is all about emotional disturbances, emotional ailments, emotional, what I can call afflictions. And what is the medicine for that? The very chanting of Bhagavan's name is the medicine. Understanding the names of Ishwara is what? Understanding Ishwara. And every word, if understood properly, leads to the understanding of Ishwara. So the names of Bhagavan become the Aushadha for samsara roga, which, as Pujya Swamiji says, that it's a disease which is a life of becoming. Even if one goes to heaven, Kshine Punye Martyalogam Vishanti. When the Punya is over, one will have to come back to this earth, this Martyalogam, this loka of mortals. So even in heaven, it is a life of becoming only. You can't escape by going to Swarga and all that. You will come back here. That is why, when in certain beliefs they say going to Swarga is moksha and all that, that is to be understood as a relative moksha, temporary moksha. Because normally the scriptures say once jiva goes to Swarga, the stay in the Swarga is for a very long period of time. And it depends upon how much punya stock that jiva had for, first of all, going to Swarga and then enjoying everything that is there, all the pleasantness or the happiness which is there, happy experiences in Swarga. With every happy experience, one quantity of punya is exhausted. We must understand that. When we understand the law of karma, whenever we are having very good times in our life, even here in the earth, we must understand what is happening is our bank balance of punya is getting reduced because of all these good things. That is why, I mean, it is not said in the Shastras, but experientially I am saying, one might have led a very nice life, very good life, earning a lot of money and everything and all that. But when the old age comes, that person gets beset with so many problems, including diseases like Parkinson's disease, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, so many diseases that that person actually, such a great life he led, he becomes a burden for himself and also burden for others. So when we try to understand what is happening, why is suddenly all this is happening? This person was very good. Suddenly how he did got this disease and things like that and all, we must understand that he all throughout his life, lot of stock of punya he was born with, but those punyas and all he went on spending by having a good life. And what he did not do or failed to do is use this life to earn more punyas. Because many of the punyas that we earn in this life are capable of giving us their results during this life itself. It is not necessary that all the punya papas that we earn are all carried forward. Some of them, they will give result here itself. And that is why when you are enjoying everything in your life, you are having very pleasant experiences in your life, we must never ignore one activity, which is activities which will give me more and more punya. And if you fail to do that, the result is that in old age, you will have all these problems. So anyhow, that's I went away somewhere else. So this life of becoming the samsara disease, Puja Swamiji explains, when one does not feel at home with oneself and feels ill at ease, that is a disease, isn't it? Dis-ease. That is the etymology of the word disease itself. So this life of samsara is a life of struggle. Not being happy with oneself is called bhavaroga. And this disease is common to all human beings. And the medicine for this roga, this bhavaroga, is only Bhagavan. Only understanding the true nature of Bhagavan, we can get cure. There is no other medicine. Understanding Bhagavan's means understanding that essentially I am also Bhagavan, Aham Brahmasmi. The understanding that the individual jiva, in spite of all its limitations, is Ishwara, is the only medicine. Tattvamasi is the only medicine. So understanding all the names of Bhagavan, understanding the Swarupa of Bhagavan through the names and forms of Bhagavan, and understanding that I am also a Bhagavan, but having this name and form, that is the only medicine for Bhavaroga. So, even though Bhagavan is especially a Aushadha for the disease of samsara, he is also the one who is in the form of the Aushadha itself. For all rogas, not only diseases of samsara, but within samsara also. That a disease can be diagnosed, that there is a medicine that can cure that disease, and that medicine works, is all because of the grace of Bhagavan. That we must understand. So this is the meaning of the word Aushadhihi. Right? That is the word we are seeing, right? Aushadham. Aushadham. Then next nama is Jagatah Setuhu. Jagatah Setuhu, which Setuhu means a bridge. So the bridge or the boundary of the world. Jagatam Samuttarana Hetutvat. asambheda karanadva setuvat varnashramadhinam jagatah setuhu. Adi Shankara quotes one mantra from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yesha setur vidharana yesham lokana sambhedaya. Okay, there's no swaras. I don't know the swaras of this mantra. Yesha setur vidharana yesham lokanam asambhedaya. That is the mantra of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Iti shrutehe. So as I said, the word setu has got a meaning of bridge, but it has also got a meaning of a bank, the banks of a river, right? Setu, they are called. Or a boundary also is called a setu. So for the entire Jagat, that is for all the jivas, Bhagavan is the setu, is like the setu, the bridge to cross the river of samsara to reach the bank of moksha. Bhagavad-Gita students can recall the dhyana slokas. Bhagavan is the only, there it was said as a boatman who takes us through. So in what form Bhagavan takes us through, we don't know. He could be a boatman, he could be an aeroplane, don't know, pilot rather. But he is the only what I can call entity who can make us cross the river of samsara to reach the bank of moksha. And moksha is also what? Bhagavan only. That is why he is Jagatas Setuhu. And it is added here, Adi Shankara says, Setuvat Varnashramadhinam Jagatah Setu. Right. So the next meaning he says is, he is also the boundary in the form of dharma. And what is the dharma we are talking about? We are talking about the Varna Dharma and Ashrama Dharma. What is the function of this Varnashrama Dharma? It is to draw boundaries for every Varna and every Ashrama, that you need to function within this particular boundary. If you are a brahmachari, these are the boundary within which you have to function. If you are a kshatriya, this is your boundaries, you have to function. If you are a brahmana, this is your boundary. A brahmachari, being a brahmachari, cannot transgress and become a grihastha. He has to function within the boundaries of a brahmachari without transgressing his respective brahmacharya dharma. So according to any station, like you are a grihastha dharma is there. That is your boundary for you. So within that, one needs to function both in terms of varnas, brahmana, kshatriya, shudra and vaishya and shudra, and also in terms of ashramas, brahmacharyam, grihastha, then vanaprastham and sannyasa. One should not become wavered in life. One should function within those respective varna or ashrama which they belong to at any given point in time. No jiva, however exalted, nor any other natural force can cross this boundary. So from that also, taking the meaning of Setu as a boundary, Adi Shankara has interpreted Varnashrama Dharmam, the boundary of Varnashrama Dharmas. So that is Jagatas Setu. Then next is Satya Dharma Parakramaha, the one of unfailing dharma and parakrama, courage. Satya hai, avitataya dharma hai, jnanadaya hai, guna hai, parakramascha, yasya saha satya dharma parakrama hai. So here, Adi Shankara interprets the word dharma as referring to the various gunas that the Lord has, such as dharma, jnana, icha, kriya, etc. And parakrama is the capacity and courage to face challenges. The jnana shakti, icha shakti, and kriya shakti and the parakrama of Bhagavan are all satya. They are all avitataya dharmas. They never fail at any time. They are always full and sustained. Hence, Bhagavan is satya dharma parakrama. As I said, parakrama is courage. It is seen in people only as long as there are no big challenges. The moment there is a big challenge, it fails. Hence, it is not satya. Many people, we have seen some, I think, Charlie Chaplin movies and all that old times. I'm just reminded of that. He will go to a boxing bout, very courageously, as if very, very enthusiastically. The moment he gets into the ring and sees the opponent is a huge giant, all his parakrama will fail. So that kind of a parakrama is not satya. So dharma and other values are followed by most people if it is convenient and easy. Else, what happens? Conformity to dharma becomes very, very challenging. The capacity to know, to desire, and to execute the jnana, icha, and kriya shaktis are also limited, and therefore they fail more often than not. Therefore, a jiva is not a satya dharma parakrama. When can we be satya dharma parakrama? Only when we understand that the Ishwara, who is satya dharma parakrama, is very much with us. We are the one. We are that Ishwara. So the more of Ishwara is there in our life, the less is the fear, the less is the insecurity, and so on. And in turn, even in the midst of challenges and trials, there is more courage to conform to dharma. So we invoke the Lord as Satya Dharma Parakrama, as the one who has unfailing Shakti and courage. This is the meaning of Satya Dharma Parakrama. So that completes that sloka. We go to the next sloka now. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavannataha Pavanah Pavano Nalaha Kamaha Kamakrit Kantaha Kama Kama Pradah Prabhu. Again, very nice sloka. This has got 10 namas. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavannataha Pavanaha Pavanaha Analaha Kamaha Kamakrit Kantaha Kamaha Kamapradaha and Prabhu. So we'll first see the first nama. We have got few more minutes. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavannataha. Bhuta past, Bhavya present, Bhavya future, Bhava present. So the Lord of all beings of the past, future, and present. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavatam Bhuta Gramanam Nataha Taihi Natyate Yachyate Tan Upatapati Tebhyaha Ashaste Tesham Ishte Shasti iti va Bhuta Bhavya Bhavannataha. So many meanings Bhagavan Shankaracharya brings into this. Lord for past, present, and future means what? He is explaining. The word Natha comes from the verbal root Nath, which has many meanings. And based on that, this Nama is interpreted in many ways. Bhagavan is Bhuta Bhavya Bhavatam Bhuta Gramanam Natha. Bhuta Gramanam means the group of all beings. Grama means a group. The Lord of all beings of the past, present, and future. This is Bhuta Gramanam Natha. This is one meaning. The Natyate Yachyate iti Natha, he says. He is the one sought after by all beings of all times at all times, both past, present, and future, whether they don't know it or not. Because he is the one who is to be prayed to for gaining all our ends. So that way also, since he is the one to whom people pray to, have been praying to, and will in future also pray to, he is Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Natha. Then Tan Upatapati. By giving the results in the form of pain to those who do not follow Dharma, he as though torments and disciplines them and makes the jivas turn towards him. Tebhyah ashaste. He blesses, he bestows his blessing on the jivas. Tesham ishte. He rules over them. And Shasti, he alone teaches and guides the people to follow the path of Dharma and Jnana through all Vedic teachings. So from all these angles, if we see the meaning of the word Natha, then we can understand what all is included, or what is all, how we can interpret this Nama, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Natha. Then the next Nama is Pavanaha. I think you can take it, 3 minutes are there. Pavanaha means the one who purifies or sanctifies. Pavata iti Pavanaha. Pavana Pavatamasmi. Gita, 10th chapter says Bhagavan, Krishna in the Bhagavad-Gita. That Shankaracharya is quoting. He is Pavana because it is his grace that purifies a person. When we look at our physical body, daily the physical body picks up dirt and is cleansed by taking bath. So outwardly we feel very clean. But what about Antaratma? What about our Antakarana, all the instruments which are functioning inside? Every day one gets hurt and there is a feeling of some sadness. Every day one picks up guilt and hurt. As we proceed, an innocent child becomes a person with a personality with lot of angularities. There is anger, frustration. And all these things keep on piling up, and at some stage that becomes unmanageable personality who cannot manage himself or herself, or even to be managed by others. This is the dirt that the Antaratma, the mind, keeps on picking up. Mahabharata says, Navarina Shuddhate Antaratma. The mind cannot be cleansed with water. There is only one way to clean the mind, to attain Chitta Shuddhi, and that is cleansing with the names of Bhagavan alone. Ishwara Smarana is to be understood and repeat the names of Bhagavan. and repeated, understood and repeated. And by this, what happens is the ego gets diluted more and more and more. And as the ego gets diluted, more and more Ishwara, more and more Bhagavan is brought inside. And this is the daily bath. This we cannot do it once in a while. Like we take a bath for the physical body, we give a daily bath. This bath of for for internal organs, for the mind, also has to be done on a daily basis, and it is a very, very healing bath. There is nothing like the name of Ishwara to heal oneself. It is a balm for all the daily hurt, for all the aches and pains in life. Vayu, the air, purifies by blowing, by removing or moving all the time without any laziness. And it is Bhagavan alone who purifies in the form of Vayu. That's why he says, Pavanaha Pavatam Asmi, I am the air among all the purifying agents. So that is the source which Adi Shankara is quoting to derive this name Pavanaha. We'll stop here. It's already time. I have taken one more minute and say the prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Hariji, what is your question?
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Unmute.
Hari Om. See, when we talk about desire, we say desire is the cause of sorrow, that we should not have desire. But when we are talking about Icha, then you are saying it is Icha Shakti, that is shown as a power. Icha also is, I don't know how we will translate, but in the loose translation of Icha also is a desire. So is there any, how do you differentiate between the desire in conventional sense and Icha Shakti?
I'll explain. See,
If my question is a valid question,
sorry.
is the question valid?
Yeah, it's a valid question. It needs a little understanding.
Yeah.
You started by saying that the Shastra says desire is the cause for sorrow, right?
Yeah.
That is not a completely accurate statement.
Yeah.
Unfulfilled desire is the cause for sorrow. A desire, if it is fulfilled, it doesn't cause any sorrow, isn't it? Only those desires who are unfulfilled is a cause for sorrow. That's the first point we must understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So any desire has got two possibilities: getting fulfilled and not getting fulfilled. When it gets fulfilled, it is not a cause for sorrow. It is actually gives us some happiness when our desire is fulfilled. But when it is not fulfilled, it is the cause for sorrow. And that is why Shastra says, avoid this problem altogether. Because suppose, to give you an example,
Yeah.
there is a cloudy sky. It looks like it is going to rain and you have to go out.
Yeah.
And it could rain very heavily also. And you could be stuck in some flood water somewhere when you go. So you must have either your two options. Either you drop your trip, don't go at all. Or you go, and then if you are able to safely come back, one side of it, otherwise you get stuck in that rain. So Shastra is saying, when there is this problem is there, when there are two possibilities, avoid doing it. That is why Shastra says, avoid the desires, give up the desires.
Sir, Guruji, in this connection, when you say that if the desire is fulfilled, then you get happiness. But the fulfilled desires, it produces more desires. No, it is not that
Correct. That is the second aspect.
Uh,
That is the second aspect. The first aspect is desires have got two possibilities, fulfillment, non-fulfillment.
yeah.
Fulfilled desires will temporarily, for a few minutes or few days, give you happiness. Suppose, as a common say, you want to buy a new car, you buy a new car, it gives you happiness for a few days.
Yeah.
But what you are now saying is the second stage. Fulfilled desires gives you a sense of false confidence. Oh, I desired this, it got fulfilled, let me desire more, and that also will get fulfilled. So you get into this problem of one desire after another desire after another desire.
Chain of desires.
Chain of desires, and you don't know which chain, at which point in the chain the whole thing will break.
Yeah.
And that desire, and you actually speaking, practically, if you look at our experience, from small desires, these desires keep on growing in size. It becomes big. And then when it is a very big desire, when it fails, then we fail. We will forget about all the successes that we have got in the past. But at that point in time, it has driven people even to commit suicide. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That is why Shastra says this desire is a very dangerous thing. Avoid it. But you cannot live without it. So that is why you create, you come up with a sense of detachment.
Okay.
Desire, but don't be detached, don't be attached to the result of the desire.
Okay.
And that is where Karma Yoga comes into the picture. Whatever you do in terms of achieving your desire, the actions that you do, offer it to Ishwara, and whatever you get in return for those desires in fulfillment, accept it as prasada. This is what the Shastra is emphasizing again and again and again, so that when the desires are not fulfilled, you don't break down. So that also actually dilutes our kartrutvam. You don't say, I am doing it, I am doing it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes us an employee for whatever we do. Like an employee, what is the attitude of an employee? I go to the office, my boss pays me a salary, whatever work is given, I am doing that work. Correct? Now, if the company is going to succeed or not succeed, or if the project is going to finish or not, it is not my sole responsibility, it's the responsibility of the boss. If it succeeds, and then if boss feels I have done a good job, he will give me a bonus. This is detachment. You don't get involved in all that is going on in the company and then try to tell the boss what is the way he should do. He will fire you rather. So the attitude with which we should do all our actions is, I am doing this action for Ishwara, and I will do this and give it, I will offer that to Ishwara. And whatever Ishwara gives in me in turn, I will accept it as prasada. This is the attitude we must have. We must develop or cultivate throughout our life.
Okay.
Now coming to Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and this Kriya Shakti.
Okay.
When we have a desire, that desire is actually generated by a certain power. That power is there in us, is nothing but Ishwara's power only. That is why we have a desire. From where the desire comes, there is something in us which makes us to desire, right? It propels a desire in us. For propelling anything, there has got to be a power, there has got to be a Shakti, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why in sleep, we don't have any desire. In deep sleep, we have no desire. There is no, all Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, everything is completely Samadhi. Almost sleep is nothing but moksha only rather. But moksha with Tamo Guna Pradhana, not moksha with Sattva Guna Pradhana. But sleep is moksha only rather. We have no interaction. We even lose identity with our body, mind, sense complex in sleep. But when we wake up, there is a desire. What propels that desire is that Icha Shakti. Then, when the desire is there, we get into action to fulfill that desire. What propels that action is the Kriya Shakti.
Is the
Kriya Shakti,
okay.
the power of action. Then, when we understand that all these Shaktis, so-called Shaktis which we feel that we have got inside us, are nothing but Ishwara only. It is all manifestations of Ishwara, all this Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Icha Shakti. When we get that knowledge is given to us, or we get that because of the Jnana Shakti. If we don't have the intellectual capacity to understand, the intellectual prowess to understand that, then there will be a very weak Jnana Shakti. But since we are able to understand it's all Ishwara, what is Ishwara, what is the reality of this Jagat, how everything is functioning, how I get a desire, how I I am propelled into an action to fulfill that desire. All these things are all Shakti's powers. In fact, these Shaktis are nothing but Devatas only rather, because any Devata is a power. And these are all this Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti are fundamental powers of Maya, the Trigunatmika Maya. It's a very long topic, but I am trying to make it as simple as possible. If I touch one point, then I will have to go to another area and then start explaining that. It will go unending rather.
What is the Sanskrit word of desire? The typical.
In Sanskrit, there are two words. Icha is a word.
Yeah.
Then raga is a word.
Okay, that's the question. Is there any difference between
Yes, I will
Icha
explain.
and
Yes. So, Icha and Raga many times normally are used in terms of interdependency, but in Vedanta terms, they are two different things.
yeah.
Icha is that desire which you have, which whether fulfilled or unfulfilled, you are not affected by it.
Okay.
Whereas Raga is that desire which leads to an attachment, which when unfulfilled leads you to depression, frustration and all that.
Okay. Can I tell when Icha is controlled by the intellect and Raga is controlled by the mind?
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
Okay.
see, here it is depending upon your attitude, your maturity of your intellect, maturity of your emotions, that is your emotional balance. That if you understand it is a desire, it's something that I want, but even if I don't get it, it is okay. My life is not going to be ruined because of that. You understand that is Icha. When Icha gets into the problem of attachment, it becomes Raga. What is Raga? Oh, I've seen this girl or this boy. I'm in love, madly in love. If I don't get that person, if I'm not able to marry that person, my life is waste, and I will either remain unmarried or I will commit suicide. That's why yesterday in Bhagavad-Gita class, I gave you the examples of all this Romeo, Juliet, this Ranja stories and all, which we have got enough of them in our culture. All those stories are all the Raga stories, getting this bad attachment. This attachment, what happens, the raga, what it does is, it actually totally disturbs your emotional balance. That is why the scriptures talk about vairagyam.
Yeah.
Not, the scriptures don't say don't have any icha at all. They say you have vairagyam. Vigataha ragaha. Remove this raga from your life. This attachment business, which is simple desire, getting to attachment and involvement and emotional disturbance and all these dependence, remove that. That is why scriptures are not against icha, but they are against raga. This we must understand this. Yeah. Are you? Thank you. Yes, any other question?
Guruji, just one small clarification. Guruji, this is today's discussion. You had mentioned Pavanaha,
Yeah.
the name of Lord, as signifying the purifier and sanctifier, and told that by to cleanse our mind, we just have to recite the names. Though I would like to know how it will actually cleanse our mind. I'm sorry, but
See,
how it will.
yeah, the problem with our mind, where all our life problems starts, is what is our ego, right? And what is this ego? It is the I sense in this body, mind, sense complex. I am the doer. There is nobody, like me. Without me, everybody will be suffering. All these kind of feelings are, beliefs about ourselves we have got. We have seen in many, do you know who I am, whose sons I am, and all that kind of thing, we have seen that. This is the biggest issue because of which we have got all problems in this world. So when I take myself as the doer, and I do something with a certain goal or a certain desire, if it is not fulfilled, I consider myself to be a failure. And all this is because why? Because that ego. And the ego actually is housing all these kind of impurities in our mind, like guilt, hurt, anger, jealousy. All these are impurities of the mind, and they are all housed in this guilt, in this ego of ours. Once we understand that, what we have to do, we have to throw them out of this house. But you can't throw them out as long as the house is there. So you start diluting the house, you start breaking that house. You start diluting your ego slowly, slowly, slowly. And what is the way to dilute the ego? The way to dilute the ego is bringing more and more Ishwara into your life, understanding what Ishwara is, understanding what is the reality of this entire prapancha is, understanding every word in Vishnu Sahasranamam, every nama, what is the meaning of that nama. The more and more we understand, we will understand what this Ishwara is. Finally understanding, we will come to that I am actually nothing. This body, mind, sense complex is nothing. That ego which I have been having all along was a mithya. It was not real. In fact, everything is Ishwara only. That is the reality. That is the Satya. So to clean that mind, which is there inside, we cannot pour water or some soap and all. In fact, Swami Tejomayananda of Chinmaya Mission, he has long back written one very nice book which I have read, which is that, I'm forgetting the title. It is about this only. If I remember the title, I will tell you. Very nice book, very thin book, small book, but this is what it emphasizes. Start getting the name. That more and more Ishwara we bring into our mind. That is why these prayers, everything, sloka chanting, Vishnu Sahasranama Parayanam, all karmas, all Vedic karmas also, they are all, the main aim of those karmas is to give us more and more chitta shuddhi. And once we have actually achieved our purusharthas in terms of artha, kama and dharma to some extent, start developing detachment. And that's why, in Bhagavad-Gita, that sloka is there, Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihe, Brahmagnau Brahmana Hutam, Brahmairatena Gantavyam.
Brahma karma samadhina. Brahma karma
So
samadhina.
once you understand everything is Brahman, when you are doing a homam, when you are doing offering ahuti with that ladle, with this for giving this, these priests bring that wooden ladle, that is called arpanam. That is also Brahman. This ghee is also Brahman. The fire is Brahman. Who is offering what to whom, you understand, my dear. Don't have this ego, oh, I am doing this homa, I am doing this, I am offering this ahuti to Agni Devata. Don't have that feeling at all. It's all Brahman only. There is only one truth. The more we bring such thoughts, such knowledge into us, the ego finds very troubled inside us. It says, now I let me go somewhere else. This is not the body. I want to stay longer. It gets diluted. And when the ego gets diluted, all this, kama, krodha, lobha, moha and all, they have no place to live. That was the only place they were all hiding rather. So they also will have to go. That is why vigataha ragaha vairagya. The raga has to go, and raga is because of this ego. And that is what is chitta shuddhi is all about. And that is why he says, Vishnu Sahasranama, why we are learning. Vishnu Sahasranama will not give you moksha, but it will make you fit enough for understanding the shastras for gaining moksha. Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yeah, yes, Hariji. One more.
I have one more. See, I am in the process of writing the different names given to Lord Krishna and Arjuna in Bhagavad-Gita.
Okay, very good.
Just trying to. Do you have any guide or anything which I can refer to?
Nothing. You have to go through, every shloka, find out, get the anvaya of the shloka and see whether there is a name. That is, there is a name which is in Sambodhana.
Yeah, like
Because
Parantapa and Achyuta.
addressing that person, correct?
Yeah.
But then what happens is there are some names like Bharata, which is
What does Bharata? What does it mean actually, Bharata?
Bharata is Bharata Vamshe Jatam.
Okay.
The one who has
Okay.
come in the Bharata Vamsha, because Mahabharata is itself is Bharata is Bharata Vamsha story only, right?
Okay.
So Bharata word is used in Bhagavad-Gita for addressing Dhritarashtra also, because he is also a Bharata. Actually speaking, all are Bharata. Duryodhana is a Bharata, Arjuna is a Bharata and all.
Yeah.
So when Sanjaya actually addresses some places, Dhritarashtra, he uses Bharata. Krishna, when he addresses Arjuna, he uses the word
Bharata. Yeah.
So like that, we have to see what all name to whom it is addressed. If you can list out, that will be a great thing. Rather, you will know all different names of Bhagavan. And then you start, when you are attending my Bhagavad-Gita classes.
Then I will come back to you, meaning then I will make that list. And once I have completed that list, I will send it to you.
Yeah, you can do that, but I will be explaining the meaning of all those names also. What does it mean? For example, Rishikesha. Now, there are two ways this word Rishikesha is interpreted.
Yes, the controller of.
Word can be split in two different ways. Rishikanam Ishaha Rishikeshaha, right? Or Rishi Keshaha. Keshaha is separate and Rishi is separate. So Rishi means short.
Rishi
Keshaha means hair.
Rishi means?
Short.
Hair.
Keshaha means
Is hair.
hair. So one meaning of Rishi Kesha is the one who has got short hair. But in the context of Bhagavad-Gita, it doesn't make any sense. It is not a barber shop talk. That's short hair.
The Lord of Rishikesha is
So
Lord of senses.
Rishikana Misha means the Lord of all the sense organs.
Senses. Yeah.
All the senses. That is the meaning we should take. So what happens is, whenever we come across, in Sanskrit language is such a dynamic language, anybody can use it the way they want to use it. That it is some many grammar rules allow for that kind of a freedom. But then we have to apply it contextually. Any meaning that we take, we have to apply it contextually only.
I will make that list and send it to you.
Me. That will be useful for me also.
No, not for that. But
no, in the sense that I can see. Well, see, these are all things at some stage when we are learning, we also want to do all that, but we don't get time to do all these things. But it has been one project in the back of my mind.
No, I will do it. You don't.
That is good. Very good. Thank you very much.
I will chapter wise. I will say Arjuna.
That somebody is working on it. Yeah. Thank you
Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna. So I will.
That one you can do that. Yeah.
I will be your project manager.
Okay, thank you. Aryo, very good. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. So if there's no questions, then I can actually shut off. I can sign off.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Aryo, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.